you now learned, the simple structure of a virus is simply a nucleic acid and a protein. Some of them are surrounded by an envelope. One important point to know about viruses is that they are host-specific. What does this mean? An animal virus cannot infect a plant. But why is that? Simply because at the surface of the virus, there are structures that are called spikes, which are important to attach to the host cell. If these structures are not there for the animal virus, they cannot infect their host cell. Enveloped viruses, they do have a layer surrounding their nucleocapsid. For the animal viruses, many of them are enveloped. Some plant viruses are enveloped, and at least one bacterial viruses are bounded by the outer flexible membranous layer, which is called the envelope. So this envelope is made up of lipids, carbohydrates, and proteins. The lipids and carbohydrates are usually arise from the host cell membrane or nuclear membrane. The figure to the right shows an example of the influenza virus as an example of enveloped virus. The proteins of a virus usually are coded by viral genes and may even project from the envelope surface as what we already said is called spikes or peplomers. These spikes are very important for the viral infection because they are important to help attaching the virus to the host surface. As an example, we take the hemagglutinin protein at the surface of the influenza virus. It's named because they bind virions to red blood cells and cause the cells to clump together in a process called hemagglutination. Spikes, they differ among viruses and they might have different functions. For that, spikes are extremely important for the identification of viruses. Other than helping in attaching to the host cell, spikes may have enzymatic activity. As an example, the neuraminidase of influenza virus. Okay, I'm sure you heard on TV about the different types of flu viruses in the past few years. So bird flu, swine flu, human influenza. In the news, they might have named the virus as H5N1 or H1N1 virus. But why is this complication? What does it mean? If you just go a step back to what we already said, the influenza virus has got at the surface only two types of proteins, hemagglutinin, focus on the H, and neuraminidase, focus on the N. So, if we say H1N1, it's a different strain from H5N1, means a different proteins at the surface of the virus. Isn't it fun to understand such terms? From this topic, you already learned that viruses are host-specific, that spikes at the surface of the enveloped viruses are important for the attachment to the host cell, and that influenza virus has got only two different proteins at the surface, which are hemagglutinin and neuraminidase.